We're here today at MX191 in Florida, and we're going to have a chat today with track owner Josh. Josh, fill us in on your facility. How did you get involved in this?
So we had a private facility in Ohio and worked with a lot of young kids. Just because the sport gives so much back to these kids, they become more responsible, more accountable, more productive. And we really wanted to expand on what we were doing and figured this pocket of Florida fit the bill. 25 miles from beautiful beaches, best year-round climate for riding, best soil combination, sand clay mix. 20 miles from Pensacola International Airport, surrounded by Blackwater Forest, all the waterways, paved bike trails. So all of the natural amenities that came with this area is what brought us here. So.
And you've been involved in the sport of motocross for a long time yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where did it all start, Josh?
So my dad got me a 1969 Mini Trail 50 Honda. So I'm kind of aging myself a little bit, but I was a youngster, absolutely loved it. Old Chips episodes where the little boy, PW had just come out, the PW 50, and I was like, man, I want to be that kid. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the cards for my family for me to really be involved on the racing side of things, competitive side of things, because although it was much cheaper back then, it was still too expensive. So I always had dirt bikes. I always had the dream of riding dirt bikes, racing dirt bikes, being involved, but it really wasn't until I met some friends that I was early in high school and I had some friends that had their driver's license. So these friends were able to get me to practice tracks and enjoy it. But I actually didn't do any, even local racing until I was 17 or 18. I really, each dollar counted so much. So I got the nickname Pro Practicer because I'd rather spend my $20 and be all day at the track being a digger, a cutter, instead of showing up at a race and you're there all day and you only get, a couple 5-lap motos. So each moment on the motorcycle meant a lot to me. And that's what led me into track building. I built my first track, I think I was 22 or 23, and it just expanded from there. And anytime I bought a piece of property and moved, we bought a 7-acre horse pasture, put a mobile home on it. My wife and I and my young daughter moved on to it. And I said, I'm going to build a track so everybody can come and ride. And we upgraded to 30 acres in central Ohio, where I'm from, and built a track so everybody could come and ride. And, over the years, we've just produced some great humans. These kids went on to become just productive members of society, whether they did anything in this sport or not. They still ride, they still enjoy the sport, and the lessons that they learned that this sport naturally teaches us when done right just creates better men, better young women. So that's my real passion for the sport. Obviously, I love to ride dirt bikes. I love everything dirt bike, but I love providing a place that is a top tier where a family can just come and it's prepped to the hilt every single time. Even between a Saturday and Sunday practice, I'm kicking everybody off the track at 3:00 on Saturday so I can get as much done before dark, and then I'm up at the crack of dawn Sunday morning finishing in, ripping. In the summer I water heavy, track's fully irrigated, 200 sprinkler heads. We go through 100,000 gallons of water in a weekend here because I want to create the safest and most authentic facility that I can in a part of the South that's never really had a facility like this. So moving forward, those things have been very expensive for us to do. Obviously, it's expensive for any track, but as a startup track, our investment's been a little bit more than what our income level over our life has been able to sustain. So now we're going to be adding 20 RV sites. So you guys from Canada, Billy, tell everybody, once I've got these sites in, guys can come down, and they're 20 miles from the airport, 25 miles from the beach. Mountain bike trails, paved bike trails through a clearing here. I mean, if we could ride there, but there's a river in the way. You can just go right down the road, and there's 53 miles of single track at a state OHV park and called Clear Creek OHV. So GNCC and Sprint Enduro guys can get their moto training in, then hit that on the weekends and get their single track training in. So all of that, it was a geographic pick. We didn't know anybody here. We had never been to this area in specific till we found this piece of property that checked all the boxes for us, and we had been looking for years. So we just jumped and then checked for a parachute later, because that's kind of how I live life. If you take too many precautions, then you never do anything great. You have to be willing to just jump and have no safety net, because if you don't have a safety net, you refuse to fail. And that's how I've lived my life. That's how my wife, lives her life. She's been my business partner. We're on our third or fourth business now. And this is the one that I care the most about. It's been the least successful in terms of financial gain or sustainability. So that's the goal that we're hoping to meet, is to have it finally pay for itself and become sustainable and hopefully profitable, so that we can invest forward. But this by far is the thing that I've always wanted to do, is just give good families a great place to ride. So.
And as a rider myself, I can very much appreciate the efforts, the hours, the dedication involved here, Josh. It's phenomenal, this facility. You've had some big name riders out here.
Yep.
Perhaps you could touch on some of those.
Yeah.
We had a chat earlier.
Yep. Our favorite are your fellow countrymen, are our favorite riders. My son-in-law and I, when they left that weekend, we shouted, "We love Canadians." So Tyler Medaglia, Jess Pettis, Ryder McNabb, Cole Thompson, those guys. Wyatt Kerr is like one of the greatest young men I've ever met, and reminds me so much of the kids from Ohio that I brought up, taken to the tracks, providing training and riding with, and just being a life coach and mentor for. Wyatt Kerr obviously had great people in his life, because the minute I met him, he would have fit brilliantly with that group of kids. So, we've had, Ryan Sipes, AJ Catanzaro, Caden Braswell, Mark Finnis, Thomas Welch, Michael Lessie, Josh Grant. I mean, there's been a slew of great riders that have come through here and have enjoyed this track. Unfortunately, we knew it when we came here that there isn't a local scene. Basically, we were going to have to pave that road before we could drive it. So we're still in that paving process. And unfortunately, you need those local riders to help fund the effort to make it sustainable, so that you can keep growing this sport, showing families that haven't been exposed to it, what this can do for them as a family. Sure, it's dangerous. Sure, it's expensive. But in my mind, there's a lot more danger not exposing a child to the lessons that this sport teaches. So I think we'll end up successful here, and I think the RV sites will help us do that. So, because the bills come in every month, and we only are open Saturday and Sunday because the turnouts are so low that we can't afford to be open more days than that, because the prep costs more than the rider turnout. So with the bills still coming in all month, even though you're only open 8 days a month, we need to find a way to fill that gap. And I think we picked a great place to do it. So,
Josh, you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you, sir.
I cannot wait to experience this track myself for the first time. Looking very forward to a Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
It's going to be hard to drive away, my friend.
Yes, it is. It's I lead with humor a lot too. I think our sport is so serious and it's so dangerous, and there's so much training that goes on in that. If you scroll through any of my social media, MX191, at MX191 Moto Track on Instagram, or just MX191 on Facebook, I try to always lead with humor. Even my speed limit signs rolling in, it goes from 8 miles an hour to 7.5. Yes. If we can start our day with a smile doing this, whether it's a young kid or a seasoned pro or whatever, and just cut that tension, take it down to really what it is. It's just you and your motorcycle having a good time and performing it at the highest level that you can. So I try to lead with that humor. I think it helps us bridge the gap between how motocrossers are viewed also. by society in general. I think a lot of times you have some of the free ride kids that kind of do their thing and they post some videos, and then some of it's really cool, and then some of it you see a lot of irresponsible behavior, which I'm going to laugh at it. I have a sense of humor, but somebody who doesn't understand our sport, they kind of think that's who we all are. They don't understand that, you can't not be of sound mind and body and come out and do this sport. You have to be physically able, mentally able. You have to have the responsibility to keep your equipment in tip-top shape. So I compare it to personal combat sports like mixed martial arts or taekwondo or wrestling or any of that, if you had to take care of the gym as well. So you've got that responsibility, mind, body, but now you also have the responsibility of equipment that you have to take care of. So there's really nothing else in the world sport-wise that does that except for motocross. And those lessons stick with us, through every phase of life. Whatever, if you can be good at this and responsible at this, then there's really nothing you can't do. So that's my honest belief.
Yes, and motocross is the best, I must say.
It is.
So we're looking forward to an excellent weekend here. We've got beautiful sunny skies ahead. And Josh, I want to thank you for inviting us. Direct Motocross, very big supporter of this facility. We'd like to see some more Canadians come and visit, Josh.
Yep. And
there is certainly no reason not to.
Yep.
It is in tip-top shape every Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Putting in a lot of effort for us riders, and we really appreciate it, Josh.
I appreciate the shout outs that Direct Motocross has done for us. It means more than you could know, Bill, because we are a startup track and people don't know about us. So the assumption is always that we're going to be kind of a typical Florida sand track that drags a railroad tie around for prep and not like a national level experience. And we really want to give, not just top level pros, but every family that comes out here that experience of riding a 25-foot wide, rip deep, watered in track. And thank you for sharing, our facility on your platform. It means a lot. You didn't have to, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, you heard it from Motor Josh here. Get your butts down here. No excuse not to make a trip to MX191. Get it planned and get down here.
Yep.
Florida sun. We got beautiful beaches. Just to the south, we've got bicycle trails.
Yep.
We've got it all.
Yep. Canoeing, kayaking, the whole deal. And I'm told if you do come down, I haven't tried ketchup chips. So I'm told I need to try some ketchup chips. That's from Andy Kerr, Wyatt's father. I need to try ketchup chips.
Oh, yes.
So I'm willing to eat just about anything if I haven't eaten in 2 hours. So we'll give it a whirl.
We're going to bring you a case, Josh.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
All right, bud.
All right.
Appreciate you talking today.
Yep.
And looking forward to an excellent Saturday, Sunday, my friend.
Same.
All right.